Okay, so I'm adding this on there too. Daniel Alexander Cannon has a lot to say here. You better pay attention. You better pay attention because he has done a lot of work here, and he's not going to get paid for it unless you pay for it. I'm telling you, it's time to wake the fuck up. Excuse my French, and I know it's not French. Wake up, people. Wake up. Daniel Alexander Cannon. I'm showing your video, and I hope somebody can support you. But I'm telling you, the reason that people cannot support you is because these people that you're talking about have robbed everybody of their money. And I've noticed that on these videos, that even though I don't get monetized, I don't, for nothing. I don't care about the views. I don't. I just want the truth out. But these people that are putting these videos out or putting anything, and they're asking for money, and I understand you want somebody to support you, and I hope people do. I do, because you are doing a lot of work to do these videos. I know because I've done the same thing. I used to do all kinds of research, and I know what it takes to do it. And I know it takes 2 or 3 days to do a video. I know this. I understand this. But the problem is they've robbed us of all of our money. And so now what they're doing on your videos and everybody else's videos is they're putting all these ads constantly because they know they've already robbed people of their money. So I'm sorry, but that's how it is. Nobody's going to get money anymore for videos. Nobody. And so for you to get nothing, well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm out.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. Today I'm going to show you and kind of explain to you the bigger picture, the bigger story of everything that's going on in the Middle East. As many of you know, this has been planned for a long time. But what we don't, or what maybe some of us don't clearly understand is that it's not just planned from in one country, like in Saudi Arabia and Israel and UAE and all these countries that the United States supposedly are protecting, right? The people that are behind the control, the power center of the United States, the guys that wear the funny little hats, the black hats that like to hang out with presidents and things like that, the ones that are claimed to be Jews but are not. Well, they have been playing throughout history. Let me see if I can show you real quick. Yeah. I showed you this the other day. Throughout all of history, all the different countries that they've been kicked out of, right? And the reasons why they've been kicked out of, like suspicion of political infiltration, banking issues, being blamed for poisoning of the people, like plagues and the Black Death and all these kind of things, and the being claimed that they were trying to take over and control everything. Well, we're back to the same story again. And the guys with the little hats that I'm talking about are those kind of guys, okay? Those kind of guys that get our president, who is supposedly not a Jew, to wear it and hang out with the people with these hats. Now, those are some of the richest and most powerful people in the world that control, and they've gotten themselves finally into the position that they wanted to. And they've been manipulating since about the 1940s, 1930s. Well, longer than that, but they've been putting these things in place secretly, covertly, lying, stealing, cheating, doing anything they can to pull everything that you see here into place. They've, for instance, armed Iran. See here, air defense system set up by the United States in Iran pre-revolution. Okay, and not just that, but all of basically most everything you see here is technology invented and created and paid for by the United States tax dollars and these groups that control it, you see. And they've been arming both sides. They've been manipulating and lying to both sides, not just both sides, all sides. And now what are they doing? They've moved to the second phase, or a bigger phase, betrayal. Countries like Saudi Arabia and all these countries in here that are part of this, they've taken the protection, the kind of what you might say, like when the mafia came through the neighborhood and they said, you don't want nothing bad to happen at your store, do you? You probably need us to protect you. All you got to do, we'll protect you, and you can pump all the oil out of the dirt that you want to, and we'll get very, very rich and live lavish lifestyles. And, we just get our cut. And we'll, this is how we're going to play. Well, now we've come to the point to where the betrayal is taking place, where these people are going to make it look like the United States is betraying countries like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, the UAE, all these countries that we all see normally up in here. And through these many years now, they've armed everybody, okay, and offered protection to one side while arming and delivering information and weapons to the other side. It's not done openly, but it's been done, okay? These people that wear those funny little hats, they have a very serpent-like way of weaseling their way into situations and then squeezing the life out of it and getting what they want, which is world dominance. World dominance. Okay? And as you can see, this technology is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Every kind of and type of weapon mechanism and system that you could possibly imagine. And these are just some of them. This isn't everything. This is just some of them. We're only looking at here, like the surface air missile systems, the UN weather modification projects from 1952 to 2000, the extremely low frequency transmission sites, lasers and directed energy weapon sites, and missile defense radars like Star Wars and space fence kind of stuff, okay? And so what I guess I'm trying to say is this has been a plan all along, and they've deceived many of the people who think they're in power in these different countries, but there's always somebody above them. And there is a great betrayal going on right now. a very great betrayal going on. And it's going to, ultimately, it's going to destroy a lot of countries, like some of the Middle Eastern countries that exist now and are rich. They're being destroyed. You know, their infrastructure is being destroyed and burnt to the ground from both sides. Think about how perfect it is. If you were running a psych op, basically, and you claimed you were going to protect people in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and other countries, in exchange for their oil, and selling their oil in the petrodollar, who do you think controls the petrodollar? The Federal Reserve, you know. Who do you think controls them? Who is it that's sitting at the Federal Reserve tables or behind the scenes making the decisions, making sure that they keep control of everything through using the petrodollar? The petrodollar is your dollar, but it's been based in oil. It's used to be pegged to gold, but now it's pegged to oil, and more it's being pegged to gas as well, like LP gas, you know. So think about if you wanted to one day be able to get two different sides to fight and destroy each other so that you could win. Think about what they've done with the Middle East. Think about what they've done. They've now got both sides over here destroying each other's oil infrastructure on both sides of the fence, okay? And it's driving up oil, and when you drive up oil, you're driving up the cost of everything. But who's suffering the most is actually not the United States, because the United States apparently is got a lot of control of a lot of oil. What did we just do in Venezuela? I say we, and I use that very, very loosely. What did they just do in Venezuela? Okay. What did they just do in Iraq? What did they just do in many other places? Now, what are they doing now? They're getting where all the oil, most of the oil that was, or a large portion of the oil that was being supplied to around the world to everyone, is now both sides are destroying each other. Who benefits? I think you know who benefits. So I wanted to explain that to you real quick so that you understand what's going on. It's basically the United States piracy system. That's what we're behaving like, are pirates, except for we are way much more planned out, organized, to where we can get it makes fulfilling the red horse of the Bible, the four horses of the apocalypse, which I believe I remember Trump saying something about the apocalypse, this war, you know, being the apocalypse, something similar to that. Well, the red horse, the second horse that comes out, is said to cause them to kill each other. Not cause them to kill us or whatever, right? Cause them to kill each other. It means this rider of the horse, or the power behind that horse, has the ability to cause others to kill each other. And so what is going on here? That's exactly what's going on here. I hope you understand. Now, I'm not saying I understand everything absolutely perfectly. It's almost too much to comprehend even at this point, at the level that I've been explaining it about. what are we looking at here? This is the earthquakes in this area, anything that's on this map, in the last one day. In the last 2 or 3 days, we've had 3 earthquakes here. 3. All 4.4, 4.6, 4.5, all in that nuclear test range size for small nuclear weapons. And I would say this, no matter what the news says, no matter what who says, I bet you that Iran has been handed nuclear weapons. No matter where they came from, who ultimately they came from by the order of the same people that gave Israel nuclear weapons and that gave Pakistan nuclear weapons. You know, they have them. I've seen chatter, or whatever you want to call it, about even Russia bringing in a very large nuclear weapon to them here recently, and since the ceasefire. I can't verify that, but putting that aside, I would say these guys definitely have them. And where they're going to use them, I don't know. I can't say for sure. How it's going to play out, I don't know for sure. This is all very difficult and complicated, as you can imagine, even for me, someone that tries to stay right on top of this kind of thing the best I can. Now, we've seen the most recent 2 other earthquakes, and I covered those for you. And then we have the one in the last day or so here. It was, as you can see, a 4.5. It was at 8:41 UTC on 4/11. And once again, it's been reviewed. See here, reviewed by a scientist, if you want to call it that. And they still say in the same depth, 10 kilometers. Same exact things. That means they're saying they don't know. Well, they do know, but they're not going to put it on here what the deal is as to what really went on there, okay? They're just not going to do it. And if you look at the seismographs for this, assuming this will come up like it's supposed to, there we go. Here we are. And once again, got that same look again. The same perfect signature. And again, no afterquakes, aftershocks, none of that kind of stuff. No prior shocks, no nothing. We're looking at all magnitudes, all the way down to 0 and above for the last 24 hours, last day, okay? And we can do the same thing for the last 7 days, all magnitudes, and you'll see only just 4 show up here. 3. That's right, 3. That are in Iran. No smaller ones. Just everything is a 4 point something. Everything for the last 30 days. Is all falling in that 4 point something range. You see all these? They're all 4 point something. That was not in Iran. But everything in Iran is a 4 point something. Right in that sweet spot of being a potential nuclear test event. It is what it is. And then we had that 4 point something right off the coast of Iran and Lebanon over here. That caused that pressure wave that I showed y'all guys in a few videos back. I'm just paying attention with the information that I have, and this looks suspect. This looks very suspect. Don't you think? If you've been paying attention and watching all my videos to the end, this should be highly suspect completely right now at this point. All right, so let's take a look and see what is happening in this area here now with the boats. See what seems to be going on. We can click on a few of them and check the track and see where they're going or coming from. That one's coming from the shore there in the Bavi, and it's just went out here a little ways in the last 26 minutes or so. Let's take a look at just trying to see what flag really some of these this ship is flagged under. Let's check track and see if it tells us anything either. It hasn't moved much. It's just pretty much sitting there. The only ships that it appears from everything I've seen that are coming in and out of here are the ones that Iran is choosing. Everybody else is being told not to go. So is the Strait of Hormuz open? No, it's not open. Very few ships are being able to go through, come out. If they were, you would be able to see it in the traffic pattern. You'd have a straight line of ships coming around here because it compresses everything down into a narrow line here. But the narrow line isn't there. You have all these ships hanging around out here and all these ships hanging around out here. But there ain't no consistent line of ships moving through here, is there? Nope, there is not. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the current fire situation or whatever it is. Actually, this is the weather. Looks like we got some cloud cover across Saudi Arabia going into southern Iran. The only reason this comes into play is because when we look at this next map, the cloud cover causes a problem when it comes to being able to see certain fires in certain locations. Let's take a look at this map. So the clouds were coming across this area. This is since midnight only. So that's probably why we're not seeing much in this area here and not too much down here. And also not much over here in Israel as well, although I do see a few new things. Let's take a look at this one here and see if this is anything new. I think this is the same location that we're used to seeing on here. Let's switch maps. Yep, this same site. I don't know if these are still showing up from yesterday or if these are flame fires, gas LP burn-off flame fires showing up repeatedly. Either that or they were hitting that site quite often. I kind of think it might be in that case flame-off fires. Let's see if I see any that look particularly interesting. The one thing that does interest me is why I have not seen much in the realm. Like if we go back a week, add everything for the last week. Come on. No, there's more than that for a week. Waiting on the software to update here. Click 24 hours. We're back to a week. Back out and see if it'll load. I don't know if my internet's a little slow or what's going on, but it's not wanting to load. Okay, let's go. Let's go March 28th. And go 30 days from there. See what we get. And it's not wanting to load. So apparently having some kind of a problem at the moment. So we'll have to come back to that. So, all right. So I want to give you that update about the concept of that, how all of this has been a setup, ultimately in the end, to shift the power and betray the people that you've been using. Okay? They've been using Saudi Arabia and these people. They've been using Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Turkey, Pakistan. I mean, who hasn't the United States been using? But especially the ones that took the protection and have benefited for a long time, and they're living these lavish lifestyles. They're being betrayed. But it's happening on both sides, mutual destruction. And this has always been the plan. And it's not just here, but this is part of the plan for world dominance to take place. Okay? These people that claim to be these people, but are not. Everybody you're seeing here is not who they say they are. These are all liars, betrayers, and this is coming from a veteran, a United States military veteran. We've been sold out and sold down the river completely and absolutely. If you appreciate this kind of information, the links are below, and I'm going to start keeping a list and announcing all and anyone who supports this work, because you deserve credit and you deserve to be shouted out. I won't be shouting out everybody's last name because some people don't mind, don't care, don't give a crap what other people think. But some people want their privacy, but it'll be like first name and last initial or something like that. So if you appreciate this work, links are below. We are going to keep pushing on. Going to keep pushing on. I love you. Father in heaven loves you, and we'll see you next time.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.